My name is Carolina González, or Carolina González, and I'm a professor in the Spanish and Portuguese program, the Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics, and I also am faculty in linguistics. Well, my courses are Spanish courses sometimes, mostly in Spanish linguistics, and I also teach linguistics courses. For example, this semester actually I'm teaching more courses than usual, but one of them is an IDS course, a liberal arts course, on the topic of language birth, language death. And I also teach a graduate course on the sounds of the world's languages and a Spanish course, intermediate Spanish one. Well, organization is important, and I think we all could be more organized, but it helps to try to organize myself, especially after the day is done, the teaching is done, write down what needs to be covered the next day, what emails I have to send, that kind of thing. And it's tricky, but it is important to balance everything up, because you can teach well if you are well rested, and if you're happy in your life. I think it does help. So I'm originally from Spain, and I moved to the US to do my graduate work in linguistics, actually, in the late 90s. And I never assumed I was going to be professor of Spanish, because I did English as a BA. And I thought, I was not aware, how many people speak Spanish in the US, how, and the interest in the Spanish language in the US, the growing number of people who speak it. So it's been a surprise to me, life takes you in unexpected directions, but it's very enjoyable, and especially because I live far from my family and my original country. So it's good to have that, to be able to speak in Spanish in my courses, and to tell students about the beauty of the language and the culture as well. So I went to the University of Southern California in Los Angeles. I actually was not the direct route. I was teaching at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro for 1 year, and I was also a postdoc at UCLA. And then the position came, one position became available here, and I moved, and I've been here ever since. Well, FSU is in the news now because it has jumped in the rankings, and we're all very, very proud and very happy. But I really like our department. I really like the how do you say that?
Camaraderie.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Everybody gets along. My colleagues are wonderful, and we have wonderful students. And it is a large university, but it has that feel of connection. So I like that, and I like also the flexibility in exploring these two areas, the Spanish language and also the linguistics. I like that flexibility as well. Well, I think there are some recent statistics that show that diversity. So the students are more diverse than ever. At FSU, over 20% of students are of Hispanic origin, right? Apart from other, minorities, other types of students. And it's just who we are. It's just what who the students are. And I think a lot of the faculty also come from very diverse backgrounds. And I think it's very important to be aware of that and to nurture that. And one of the things that we are trying to do in our program in Spanish and Portuguese is actually have courses for those people who might know Spanish a little bit or a lot from the start, who grew up in houses where Spanish was spoken, and we are developing courses that are for them. So we are trying to come to terms with that and be helpful in that way to the students, to the changing nature of the students. And I think it's going to continue to be like that. It's not going to change. So depending on the faculty member, right? Some appointments are more research oriented, some are more teaching oriented. I have a combined, research and teaching, which is pretty typical. So I'm following up on several projects. Some of them have to do with how Spanish speakers pronounce things, and we are going to present at a conference, the Hispanic Linguistics Symposium in October. It's a group of a group of former student of ours and also a current graduate student of ours, so we're working on that, on whether Spanish speakers from different countries, could be Venezuela, it could be Colombia, it could be, Spain, whether they glottalize or not, they have that creakiness that is typical of American English, like And I'm also writing a book, so I got a book accepted recently. So I have a contract to write a book on invented languages, how to invent your own language. So I'm working on that. That's what made me interested in the topic ages ago when I read Lord of the Rings and I wanted to invent my own language, and I did a horrible job, of course, because I didn't know anything about linguistics. So I teach students in my liberal arts course how to invent their own languages, and it's a very good introduction to linguistics. To kind of manipulate those concepts and those skills that you need for languages. And I have my pedagogical languages that I come up with and the students work with in the class. It does matter because it reminds us of the contributions of Hispanic Americans in our country, and it is a great opportunity to come out and see something new, learn about a particular style of dance from another country that you haven't seen before, or other cultural events. So I always try to make the time to do that, and in the past I've also participated as part of a flamenco troupe. So sometimes it has been a while, but we've also contributed that way, to showcase some of the possible music and dance traditions of some of the Hispanic speaking world. Well, they can find, you can support these events. They can, go and see what the diversity in this, because it's so many different things. It's not just the one monolith, there's a lot of different cultural representations and traditions. And it would be great if they could show some interest or support in some of these events, which are, all over not just FSU, but the city. And I think many people are interested in Spanish and Hispanic cultures. New faculty members, ask questions, even if you find that it might be too much. You need the information, make connections, ask questions, and try to, and sometimes we have this pressure of, having to work, but it's very important to establish connections early on, and it will give you that personal connection as well that will support you through several years and any issues that you might have, and we all have issues, that we need help with. So ask for help, ask for information. People are very, very kind and very, they're always ready to help and talk to you. So don't be shy. And that's one of the things I would recommend. I just loved being in class and just learning about all of this, language and literature and linguistics. And I think just being in a class and, this inspiring, I don't know, I love that. I like that feeling. Keep at it. I mean, some hard times, but some good times as well. So.